From the Soaking Newsroom, here's your weekly local news recap. I'm Stephen Vierre. On December 1st, a Burien woman was killed on the West Valley Highway in Tukwila after her truck was struck by a suspected drunk driver, according to police. Tukwila deputies responded to the crash scene near South 180th Street at 11:40 p.m. Police say that a southbound pickup truck driven by a 27-year-old male from Utah T-boned the victim's truck, which was turning left onto South 180th Street. The female driver of the turning truck was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the other vehicle was taken into custody. Police say it appears that alcohol was a factor in the fatal collision. The victim was a 64-year-old resident of Burien. Photos at beatownblog.com. The city of Burien recently sought and received a temporary restraining order to close down the VIP Hookah Lounge located at 153 Southwest 153rd Street. On December 8th, the judge granted a preliminary injunction which will keep the lounge closed until a permanent injunction hearing can occur. The city successfully argued that, quote, "The business was operating without a license, is a chronic nuisance to the community, and cannot be licensed because smoking is a prohibited activity for any business." The club was originally opened in 2010 as the Pyramids Club and operated as a private club with dues-paying members. Several such businesses have been closed recently, as the state of Washington does not allow smoking in restaurants. South King Media attempted to reach out to the management of the club for comment, but received no response. More at beatownblog.com. Public Health of Seattle and King County has issued a warning that an outbreak of mumps has developed in King County, mainly in the Auburn area, and that the outbreak can easily spread to other schools and areas in King County. Mumps is a disease caused by a virus. It typically starts with a few days of fever, headache, muscle aches, tiredness, and a loss of appetite. Then a person with mumps may develop swollen cheeks or jaw. Most people with mumps get well within a few weeks. Some who get mumps may only experience a mild illness, or they may not even know they have the disease. Mumps can occasionally cause serious health problems, especially in adults, that include swelling of the brain or deafness. Prevention includes getting the mumps vaccine from your doctor, normal hygiene including frequent hand washing with soap and water, and isolation from other persons with the disease. If you think you have the mumps, call your doctor, but stay home and away from other people, including family members, while the disease is still contagious. More at beatownblog.com. For a majority of its 3.5-hour meeting on the evening of December 5th, the Burien City Council heard residents comment on a proposal by 3 council members to declare it a sanctuary city with the idea of protecting illegal or undocumented immigrants. Sanctuary city status is similar to that created by Seattle's City Council and many other local jurisdictions around the nation. Such a status would prevent local police and other officials from assisting federal officers who are working to deport undocumented aliens as threatened by President-elect Donald Trump. City Attorney Lisa Marshall said Burien does not have such an ordinance. There also was no proposed ordinance before the council to formally designate Burien as a sanctuary city, merely a request for discussion of the issue by council members Lauren Berkowitz, Nancy Tosta, and Austin Bell. The council asked that the acting city manager and the city attorney come back with a formal proposal for consideration at the December 19th council meeting. Don't ask has been a policy of the Burien Police Department for many years. The department's officers are members of the King County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff John Urquhart says that according to a written policy that has been in place for the last 25 years, his officers are not allowed to inquire about a person's immigration status, ask for a green card, or other related documentation in the course of normal police business. The police chiefs of Des Moines and Normandy Park say that they have similar policies. Details at beatownblog.com. The Kent Regional Fire Authority, Kent Firefighters Local 1747, and the Kent Firefighters Foundation have announced the 2016 kickoff of the Toys for Joy program that supports the less fortunate in the community. Toys for Joy is an annual event where new unwrapped toys are collected, sorted, wrapped, and delivered to local food banks and outreach programs for distribution to needy families in our community. In addition to toys, non-perishable food and monetary donations are also accepted. 2016 has seen an upturn in the economy, but there are still many families in need. Some families have to dedicate their money to the basics in order to survive, and they do not have the ability to buy gifts during the holidays. The Toys for Joy program was created to help these local families. Toy wrapping parties are scheduled for the 13th and 19th of December at 6 p.m. and are open to the public. The media is invited to cover these events, which are attended by groups and individuals from throughout South King County. Last year, the public wrapped over 6,000 gifts. Toy collection barrels are located at fire stations 45, 46, and 47 in SeaTac. The Toys for Joy program can only exist with the generous donations of local residents and businesses. Over the years, that generosity has been tremendous. This year, organizers and participants are hoping for everyone's continued support. More information can be found at SeaTacBlog.com. Since its establishment, 16 members of the King County Sheriff's Office have lost their lives in the line of duty. On December 2nd, Sheriff John Urquhart and King County Council Vice Chair Reagan Dunn were joined by the relatives and friends of those who have died to dedicate a memorial honoring them for their sacrifice. The first of the 16 deputies killed in the line of duty was Deputy Wesley Cherry in 1854. The most recent was Deputy Steve Cox, who was fatally wounded in 2006 after responding to gunshots at a house party in White Center. The memorial for Cherry, Cox, and the 14 other deputies is described as a symbol of the more than 160 years of dedication and priceless sacrifice that the Sheriff's Office has given to King County. Urquhart said, "This memorial has been an important project for me over the years, and I am proud to be able to unveil it today." Council Vice Chair Dunn added, "We have no way of knowing that while honoring the sacrifice of our fallen King County Sheriff's officers, we would be joining the rest of Washington State in mourning the fallen Tacoma police officer who was killed on November 30th. I hope this memorial serves as a reminder of their work and as a way to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice." More at whitecenterblog.com. Time now for The Mayne Problem, commentary from senior writer Jack Mayne.
The proposal to make Burien a so-called sanctuary city will change absolutely nothing in the way undocumented aliens are already treated. For 2 decades, the King County Sheriff's Department has had rules that it would not enforce federal immigration laws. The Sheriff's Department is contracted to be the local Burien Police Department. Local law enforcement agencies enforce local laws. Federal agencies enforce federal laws. That includes all immigration statutes. They do not enforce state laws or local ordinances. Over the years, Burien Police and the King County Sheriff's officers have backed up federal officers when they have appropriate federal warrants declaring a person may be in violation of a federal immigration law or criminal statutes. The B-Town blog has posted a voluntary poll on the matter, and as of Friday noon, 602 people voted on the poll. 57%, or 341 people, said there should not be a sanctuary law in the city, but 41%, or 244 people, voted there should be such a city ordinance. The poll is constructed in a way that a person can vote only once from each IP address. So why did Council members Lauren Berkowitz, Nancy Tosta, and Austin Bell propose that a city ordinance be created to do what is already being done by its city police and federal agencies? Why was over 2 hours taken up to discuss a measure that's only significance is a feel-good measure of support to a group of people? Many residents say the council should stop pushing such things that have little effect on city residents. Many of our readers think the council should spend its time working on the many issues facing the city, not trying to make grandiose statements that have little effect other than to make some citizens feel better. But many others feel such a sanctuary ordinance will make the aliens who have come here to escape problems of their birth countries feel more welcome. We believe that doing something that accomplishes nothing is a waste of time and effort. Burien Council members have many more important matters, those that do directly affect its citizens. We can be accepting and understanding of newcomers without passing ordinances that accomplishes nothing beyond expressing goodwill to all people.
In the final take, most of us have heard the recent news story about the tragic Artists Warehouse fire in Oakland, California, that has killed nearly 40 people. It seems that the building had been a virtual fire trap in the making over a period of at least 30 years. At least that's how long Oakland City code enforcement people say they have been attempting to be let into the otherwise locked building to verify conditions and safety code compliance within it. The problem with old warehouse buildings such as this that have been extensively modified to provide living and workspaces for artists and such is that the modifications are frequently done on the sly by amateurs without any thought about building or fire safety codes that are there to save lives in an emergency. Having such work submitted for review and approval before construction starts as part of the legal building permit process ensures that the finished work complies with local codes and is safe. So before you decide to add on a new deck or take on that home expansion job yourself, put it on paper and get it reviewed by your local building code enforcement agency before you cut your first board. Yes, it will probably cost you some money for permits and such, and take more time than you wanted to spend on the project. Odds are that your project's reviewer will advise you about any code or safety conflicts that he or she sees in your project's design and require changes before you proceed. Remember that in most cases, they're doing it to save property or to save a life. Maybe yours. Stephen Vieira, SoKing Internet Radio News.
SoKing News was created based on a generous grant from JLab's Encore Media Entrepreneurs Program, supported with funding from the Ethics and Excellence in Journalism Foundation and the Nicholas B. Ottaway Foundation.